Spot the Scam is an effort by NDTV Profit to educate you, the viewer, and to protect you from the scams that are currently being perpetrated in the name of promising amazing returns through investment. Now, this is an NDTV Profit exclusive. We investigated a shady advisory firm that has spent big bucks on advertising on the front pages of national dailies. The platform, called Trading Dost, is a classic racket, luring investors by promising huge returns. My colleague Charu Singh has this report.
On the morning of 13th July, we came across an interesting ad in a Hindi daily. It was quite an audacious ad because the trading firm that gave the ad promised 500 times returns to investors like you and me. That's not all. It had also promised opening an account with them with zero brokerage and no documentation. It seemed a little strange, so this entity called Trading Dost was irking us and we went to the SEBI website and checked for their registration. It was quite strange that none of the names mentioned on the ad or the entity's name itself was registered with the regulator. And hence, we decided to give this person a call.
जी कौन बात कर रहे हैं?
बोलिए ना मैडम, राघव बोल रहा हूँ।
अच्छा राघव जी, मैं चारू सिंह बात कर रही हूँ एनडीटीवी प्रॉफिट से। आपका एक ऐड देखा था तो आप कॉल किया था। मुझे पता चला यहाँ पे कोई सेबी रजिस्टर्ड इंसान एडवाइस नहीं देता है। 16 साल से काम चल रहा है, तो ये कैसे पॉसिबल है?
नहीं, आप क्या बोलना चाह रहे हो? क्या पूछना चाह रहे हो? जर्नलिस्ट हो, न्यूज में डालने के लिए आप हमसे इन्फॉर्मेशन लेना चाह रहे हो या आपको हमारे लिए अकाउंट खोलना है वो पूछना चाह रहे हो?
अकाउंट तो नहीं खोलना है, इन्फॉर्मेशन ही चाहिए। इन्फॉर्मेशन तो न्यूज़पेपर में भी है। खैर, मैं तो बस ये पूछ रही थी कि ये 16 साल से बिना रजिस्टर्ड एंटिटी के कैसे काम चल रहा है?
मैडम, आप एक बात बताओ कि आप जर्नलिस्ट कितने साल से बने हुए हो?
मैं तो जर्नलिस्ट कितना हो गया होगा, 2 साल हो गए होंगे।
5 साल, 2 साल हो गए मैडम। डब्बा ट्रेडिंग कब से चल रहा है पता है मैडम आपको? हम और आप तो जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था हमारा।
ठीक है।
हमारा और आपका तो जन्म भी नहीं होता तब से डब्बा ट्रेडिंग का काम हो रहा है। अभी तो ये एनएससी, बीएससी, आप देख पहले क्या होता था, पेपर पे लिखा जाता था, आधा पत्ते पे चढ़ता था, आधा नहीं चढ़ता था। धंधा थोड़ी ना बंद हो गया, धंधा तो पहले से ही चल रहा है।
सही बात है।
एप्लीकेशन का काम ये जो चल रहा है ये 15-16 साल से चल रहा है। मैं और आप तो डिसाइड नहीं कर सकते ना किसी के बोलने से। मेटा 5 एप्लीकेशन है, पूरे इंडिया में चल रही है मैडम। इंडिया के पूरे वर्ल्ड में चल रही है।
सही बात है राघव जी।
हाँ,
कहाँ से हैं आप?
कौन से मीडिया में डालना है ये तो बताइए।
NDTV। कहाँ से हैं आप?
हम तो हिंदुस्तान से ही है, बेस्ड ऑफ दिल्ली है।
दिल्ली से?
हाँ जी मैडम।
दिल्ली में कहाँ से?
दिल्ली में रहते हैं मैडम हम। वो देखा आपने शाहदरा?
राघव जी, आपको डर बिल्कुल नहीं लग रहा कि ऐसे न्यूज़ चली जाएगी, लिख जाएगा, छप जाएगा? ये आपको बिल्कुल उसका ऐसे हल्का सा भी खौफ नहीं है?
मैडम, एक बात को खौफ किस लिए रखना चाहिए तो बताओ, कौन सा गलत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं?
अरे आप बोल रहे हो कि क्या कहते हैं, बिना सेबी रजिस्टर्ड एंटिटी के एडवाइस दे रहे हो, जानकारी दे रहे हो।
एडवाइस किस बारे में दे रहा हूँ मैं? एडवाइस
रिटर्न की गारंटी दे रहे हो।
100% दे रहा हूँ मैडम। आप ट्राई करके देख लो कि आप पैसे डाल के डिपॉजिट करके ट्रेड करके विड्रॉल तो देखिए कितना फास्ट देते हैं आपका जो बिजनेस है वो आप करिए, मेरा जो बिजनेस है मैं वो करूंगा मैडम। अगर आप पूछना चाहे तो बिल्कुल पूछिए, बेझिझक पूछिए। आपको मेरा पर्सनल नंबर चाहिए वो भी ले लीजिए मैडम, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
बताइए आपका पर्सनल नंबर क्या है?
585 पहले लगाना पड़ेगा आपको +971। मैं आपको इसी नंबर पे व्हाट्सएप कर दूंगा।
अच्छा चलिए, कर दीजिए। ओके।
After this call, NDTV Profit broke the story first on its website. And on the same evening, India's leading bourse, the National Stock Exchange, came out with a cautionary circular for the investors. First off, they said that this platform, Trading Dost, is not to be trusted and investors should not associate themselves with it. Secondly, they asked the investors, advised them to steer clear from these Dabba trading activities, all these schemes that lure them and promise them high investment returns. After this, we decided to give this Raghav person another call to ask him how he felt about the NSE circular. First off, we would like to tell the viewers that first number on the newspaper ad did not go through, and the second number did allow us to speak to him after 2 attempts.
हेलो
हेलो राघव जी, आवाज आ रही है?
बोलिए मैडम।
सर, आपने कहा था आपसे बात करनी हो तो आपको कॉल कर लूं, तो इसी
बात करनी है, मेरी तो बात हो गई आपसे कल।
नहीं, मुझे आपसे बात करनी थी, इसलिए मैंने किया था। अगर आपके पास 5-6 मिनट है तो मुझे कुछ चीजें पूछनी थी।
किस बारे में पूछना है मैडम?
सर, आपने कहा था कि क्या कहते हैं, ये गलत नहीं है डब्बा ट्रेडिंग या जो भी चैनल है, और ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, तो क्या आप बता सकते हैं ऐसे और कौन कौन से प्लेयर्स हैं जो कर रहे हैं?
कौन से न्यूज में देना है आपको?
मुझे बस जानना है कि और भी लोग हैं और नंबर्स हैं।
नहीं, हमारे पास इतना टाइम नहीं है मैडम कि आपके लिए हम कंटेंट दे आपको। हमारे बहुत काम है करने के लिए मैडम, दोबारा फोन मत करिएगा प्लीज।
अच्छा, तो आप ये बता सकते हैं कि आप यूएई का नंबर क्यों यूज़ करते हैं जबकि आपका काम दिल्ली से होता है?
मेरे पास है ही नहीं यूएई का नंबर। आपको कौन बोला मेरे पास यूएई का नंबर है?
आपने मुझे दिया था, शुरू किया था बोलना, लेकिन फिर आपने बताया नहीं पूरा नंबर।
नहीं, है ही नहीं मेरे पास यूएई का नंबर। आपने कल छाप दिया है, देख लिया हमने पेपर, ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। आप करिए जो आपको लग रहा है करिए, आप हमें प्लीज डिस्टर्ब मत करिए। हमें हमारा काम करने दीजिए, आप अपना काम करिए।
क्या आप यही काम कंटिन्यू करेंगे जो आप कर रहे हैं?
100% यही करूंगा मैडम।
ठीक है, और कब तक करते रहेंगे, कब से कर रहे हैं?
क्या करना है मैडम आपको?
सर, जानना चाहती हूँ, ऐसे जर्नलिस्ट पूछ रही हूँ।
चालू किया, आज ही चालू किया मैडम मैंने काम।
क्या?
आज चालू किया, आज से काम चालू किया, न्यू बिजनेस।
नया बिजनेस? कौन सा नया बिजनेस?
मेरा नया बिजनेस चालू किया मैंने, डब्बा ट्रेडिंग का। डब्बा देता हूँ घर घर में जाके, दाल चावल रोटी सब्जी।
और फिर उस एड का क्या हुआ जो आपने डाला था नवभारत में?
कौन सी? मैंने कहाँ डाली एड? गलत फहमी हो गई आपको।
यही नंबर है न्यूज़पेपर के ऊपर, एनएसई का सर्कुलर भी आया कल शाम को इसी बात पे।
मेरे को नहीं आया मैडम कोई सर्कुलर, क्योंकि ये नंबर मेरे को बिलोंग ही नहीं करता।
तो फिर आपने ये नंबर उठाया कैसे?
मैडम आपके पास और कोई काम नहीं क्या?
नहीं सर, जर्नलिस्ट हूँ, यही काम है मेरा।
हाँ, तो हमारा काम तो हमें करने दीजिए ना। हमारे बहुत क्लाइंट के फोन आ रहे, दोबारा प्लीज आपसे हाथ जोड़ के विनती, कॉल मत करिएगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच जर्नलिस्ट मैडम।
As you all just heard, Raghav had changed the meaning of Dabba trading itself by the end of our call. This particular platform, Trading Dost, is likely to disappear and reappear in some new avatar. And investors like you and me will be lured into such schemes every single day using Telegram channels, YouTube channels, WhatsApp calls, and SMSs. And we must exercise extreme caution before putting our money in such schemes. Charu Singh in Mumbai for NDTV Profit.
I certainly was a little taken aback at the tone and tenor of the voice that this Mr. Raghav used when he was speaking to Charu. And there was absolutely no hesitance. Of course, at the end of that conversation, he changed his tone and he said that he was actually delivering dabbas and not dabba trading. Deven Choksi, Managing Director of DR Choksi Investment Managers, joining us now. Devin, thanks so much for taking the time. I hope that you heard at least a portion of that conversation. Are you surprised that people are unafraid to carry out what is essentially an illegal activity?
Yes, Alex, good morning. Well, I think not completely surprised though. I think because they are carrying out illegal activity, they know the perils and the consequences of those activities. Unfortunately, I think these illegal activities are happening in the system also because of the byproduct of our age-old trading norms and the rules. Today, I think in these times, when you have a complete blockchain in place to, I think, trace all your transactions, starting from order to the transaction, for banking, from stockbroking, for depository, for everything, you are still maintaining a kind of a system which was then installed at the time of introduction of derivatives. We started derivative market with 1 lakh rupees worth of market lot. Today it has become 20 lakh rupees worth of market lot. I don't understand the need for this particular market lot. Because of this market lot, which is a restriction that one has created, the fallout effect of this market lot is dabba trading. If you don't have market lot, then dabba trading do not exist. Now the question is that I think we are creating market lot for the safety of investors. 9 out of 10 investors are losing money. Where is the safety? So I think this is a subject I think which needs to be introspected a little bit more in detail. I don't necessarily blame, I think, the entities who emerge to take the inefficiency into their account and probably make money. We have seen Jan Street, I think, doing that. We are seeing local traders doing it. Inefficiencies, everybody wants to make money out of it. I think it's not their fault. It's a lacuna in the system which they are capitalizing as I see it.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. Devin, hi. Mahima also joining in. You know, it's not just these scams, right? There are also scams going on where, you know, people are just creating WhatsApp channels, Telegram channels, and going ahead and giving stock recommendation in terms of trading as well as, you know, fundamentally buying the stock. if there's somebody who wants to begin trading today or investing today, what should that person keep in mind? You know, there should be, I feel there should be an SOP that every investor should, you know, be aware of, that these are the 3 or 4 things that I should keep in mind before joining any of these WhatsApp channels or Telegram group, or before approaching anybody like Raghav.
So, Mahima, I think my whole take is that I think every investor, I think, as they always say, the buyers beware. The investor also requires to be aware about, I think, certain rules, regulations, and the regime of the regulators. Unfortunately, I think he is a sophisticated investor who knows about everything. But the one who is not so sophisticated is only concerned with, I think, easy part of making money. He is getting into this particular trap and he is playing around. He does not even ask a question that who the person on the opposite side is. In fact, I think there are instances of impersonation in WhatsApp and Telegram accounts wherein people are cheated, their money, they are duped, I think their money has gone. All those things are happening under our nose. Maybe I think regulators are operating separately. The banking regulator operates separately. The security regulators operate separately. I guess I think it's time that finance ministry or government takes up this particular call, make all regulators work together and ensure that I think there is no such a loose end in which I think people can take money out of somebody's account by way of impersonation on WhatsApp or on Telegram or any such kind of social media channels.
Devin, and ultimately, as you said, it's buyer beware, but from the perspective of managing expectations, I think what we've seen in the recent past is change of regulations in the derivative space, where the regulator is attempting to at least hold back some of the fervor that people have, and the fact that so many individual traders have lost money. So would you say more than anything else, it is setting of expectations? If somebody is promising you to double your money in 30 days or in that kind of time, it's something that any top investor in the world would be incredibly happy with, but nobody's achieved, right, Devin? So would you say that setting your expectations more than anything else is the most important thing?
Provided you are self-aware, I guess I think you are absolutely right in your question. But you as an investor, I think you don't have greed. I think that is impossible. Every individual person, I think, would have a smaller big greed. I think that is definite, and that is a fact. So when you have greed, I think this kind of outcomes are bound to be there. It's not going to be very surprising if this outcome is not there. In fact, I think to teach them the right methods, you may do the public awareness program that you have been doing as an exchange, as a regulator. Everybody is doing this kind of programs, but still it is happening and it is still unfolding. Remember well that I think we are still not 50-60 crore investor accounts in the country. I think for a size of population, we still have only 10, 20, 12, 13 crore kind of an accounts in the country. I think if they are multiplied by 4 times, 5 times, this is even going to take a bigger shape. In my viewpoint, I think it is a regulator who has to basically install correct practices. Today, I think this particular market, and I'm taking the liberty of explaining this part a little bit, I think here, that today this market, which was evolved in 2000, derivative market, has now completed 25 years. In 25 years, what has changed? Probably nothing has changed, I think, except creating the larger and larger hurdles. That is not the solution. In my viewpoint, there are 3 different classes of players in the derivative market. One is a proprietary trader who is coming either from the local or the global side. I think what we have seen in recent days, one example. The institutional players who use derivative market for also the hedging purpose, and the retail who basically use the derivative market for leveraging as well as for hedging purpose. Now, if these 3 classes of players, they operate on one single platform with the same set of rules, the disaster is bound to happen. You are driving a bullock cart and you are driving a racer car on the same expressway. You are bound to meet with accident. In such situation, I think these 3 classes of players, I think, should be segregated, not from the price discovery point of view, but from the execution window point of view. The product differentiation has to be created for 3 segments. If you want to stop the menace of, I think, this Dabba trading, or I think the higher amount of greed which is getting generated in the minds of people, I think this kind of system will have to be created. This system has the power to, I think, control the kind of, I think, nonsense which is happening in this particular place. If we can handle that part, I think that can possibly give a relatively better solution in my viewpoint. That is why I'm insisting that the remodification or the modification of this particular system is required at the uppermost priority level in my viewpoint.
That's a very important point that you're making. Just another illustration of that is I can choose to have a 100-meter race with Usain Bolt, but I have absolutely no hope of winning that race. Devin, thanks so much for joining me this morning. Pleasure speaking with you as always. All right, so this was an attempt to draw your attention to some of the strategies that people are using to take your money away. In no other uncertain terms, effectively this is scam, and beware is the message that we have for you, and spot the scam with NDTV Profit.